Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, summertime is almost here in the UK. When we change our clocks on Sunday morning, then that will mark the official start of British summertime. Yes, that's right. We will change our clocks by 1 hour. The practice of moving our clocks back and forward twice a year is referred to as changing the clocks. It's a little bit of a strange phrase because we don't actually change anything. I mean, we don't put the clock away and bring out a new one. We simply change the time on the clock. So the phrase is a little bit misleading, to change the clock. So British summertime will begin on Sunday morning. I think it's around 2 a.m. that the clocks officially change. But I usually adjust my clocks on Saturday evening before I go to bed, so I don't forget, because in the morning I might be confused. Although, like everyone else, the first thing I do in the morning is reach for my phone or tablet or digital device, and it will, of course, have changed the time anyway. So, as you know, in Britain, time is referred to as GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. And if you listen to, for example, the BBC World Service, you might hear them say something like, it's 01 hours, GMT, in a very serious tone. And when they get to the afternoon, that sounds like it's 1600 hours, GMT. They sometimes use local time, but GMT time is our standard time for all official sources, for the army, for airlines. I think even some train stations use GMT. And it shows as 0100, 0200, 1600, 1700, 1800, like the computer time. If you've ever bought a new computer, it sometimes shows this different time until you change it to something more local. Well, after we change the clocks at the weekends, there will be one difference, a 1 hour difference between GMT and BST. So local time will be British summer time, and GMT will be 1 hour behind. It can get a little bit confusing, especially for those of us who love communication. Many radio stations, when they're broadcasting to Europe or even around Europe, use the GMT time. Good evening, it's 1800 hours GMT. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's 6 o'clock local time in the UK, because from Saturday, GMT will be 1 hour behind BST. So GMT is our local time for 6 months of the year, and then BST, British Summer Time, is our local time. If you don't care about communications, it doesn't really affect you. But if you're listening to radio from other countries, if you're involved in overseas communication, then it becomes kind of a big deal. Anyway, that's the background. That's what's going to happen this weekend, which coincides with Easter. So just to recap then, during British summertime, the clocks are set forward by 1 hour from GMT, and that means that BST, British Summer Time, is GMT plus 1 hour. And then during Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, Greenwich is a little bit strange. It looks like Greenwich, but it's not. It's Greenwich. This is a standard time zone for the UK during the winter, and it's also referred to as UTC, Universal Time Coordinated. For example, if it's 12 p.m. GMT, that's the same as 12 p.m. UTC. And there's other ways people refer to that as well. It gets really confusing with American time zones. They have Eastern Time, Central Time. I've no idea what that is, but I can tell you that it is confusing. Anyway, moving on. Today is World Piano Day. So if you're one of these people who likes to play the piano, today really is the day for you, because it's the day when I think most countries in the world celebrate the piano. Now, from my experience, I think people who play the piano are always just a little bit crazy. And that's highlighted in one of my favorite movies, which is a French movie called The Piano Teacher with Isabelle Huppert. It's a really weird movie about a middle-aged piano teacher who's just a little bit nuts. And we all know the stereotype of the piano player, or the pianist, as we call them, being all dressed up or having long beards playing the piano. I think it's because music has infinite possibilities, so it's very hard to put it away. I must admit, my piano, I haven't touched it for a long time. So maybe today is the day to polish it off and get back to maybe playing something. I don't know. I'll see. I'll see simply means I'm looking to the future. And I'll see is basically saying, well, I'll see what happens. I'll see. Now, one very common idiom associated with the piano and as a metaphor for British life is to strike a chord. And that means to evoke a strong emotional response in somebody, which is a little bit like striking the key on a piano. You know, if you put your finger on the piano and you hit it, it makes a noise. That's not called playing the note, it's striking the note, okay? If you're just doing it in a hard way. So to strike a chord is a metaphor, meaning that you've said something which somebody is identifying with or resonating with. Now we're going to go through some examples of this, okay? So let me see. The movie's theme of overcoming difficulties in the character's life struck a chord with audiences, meaning that the movie became popular all over the world. His speech about mental health awareness struck a chord with everyone who heard it. The artist's latest painting really struck a chord with viewers, bringing up deep emotion and contemplation. The book's exploration of loss and grief really struck a chord with readers. I know when I present my next piece of music, it's going to really strike a chord with those who hear it, because it's written in a certain way. You can also use it about music itself, as I've just done. The song's lyrics about love and longing struck a chord with listeners, making it one of the most popular songs on the radio. The woman's story of survival against all odds struck a chord with everyone who heard it. So there we are. That's striking a chord. You can use it in all different tenses, and of course, it's related to music. So anything which you do, which raises someone's consciousness and brings them onto the same platform as you are mentally, is striking a chord. It's when somebody identifies with what you're saying or doing, usually in a powerful kind of a way. You know, there are some famous actors who play the piano, and one of them who plays the piano in real life is Hugh Laurie. Now, you might remember him as being Dr. House. And I was in Edinburgh on Tuesday, and a man and a woman walked past me. And, you know, my mind is a little bit strange sometimes, because sometimes I don't recognize a face, but a name just comes to me, or something comes to me. And this man walked past me with this woman, and I thought, oh, that's really strange. He's not limping today. You know, limping is when you have a problem walking with one of your legs. And then the second thought came to me, oh, it's strange he's not limping. And then I quickly realized that it was Dr. House. So I turned around and I said to the person I was with, oh my God, that's Dr. House, but he's not limping. And the and the reply I got was, you mean it's the actor, Hugh Laurie? And I thought, yes. He looks a little bit older, but it's definitely him. And so, of course, by the time I turned around, the person had vanished into the crowd, never to be seen again. I don't think I would speak to them anyway. You know, if you find an actor that you like in the street, I don't think I would talk to them. When I was younger, I remember coming across some very minor local celebrities and saying hello to them and stuff, but I don't think I would, because I think actors deserve their privacy. And there's all kinds of stories on social media now about how an actor might be having dinner and someone speaks to them and says how much they like them and stuff like that, and the actor gets annoyed. So I would just acknowledge the fact that I seen him, or at least someone that looked very like him, but I don't think I would ever talk to anybody that was really famous, just to give them their space and their privacy. I don't think people these days, especially here, are approachable anyway. We tend to give everyone a lot of space unless it's very clear that they want to talk to us, or of course unless we know them. So yeah, I wouldn't rush up to them and start a conversation. Besides, Dr. House was really strange, wasn't he? He's not the kind of person that you'd want to meet. Although I'm sure Hugh Laurie, the actor, is a very nice person. Anyway, he plays the piano. Yeah, he did that on the series as well. Not only him, Paris Hilton plays the piano as well, and so does Richard Gere. And according to this list of actors, so does Kelsey Grammer. He's Fraser, isn't he? And Charlie Chaplin as well. Well, in those days, everyone played the piano, didn't they? To be an actor in the old days, you had to have a second skill, to simply be able to do one thing really wasn't enough. I remember famous actors from the 80s, it was quite normal for them to act, sing and dance, speak French, or have some kind of special talents. Even from my days on the radio, you needed to have some gift of conversation or some way of distracting people just in case the record didn't play, the advertisement didn't come on. And better still, if you spoke a second language, you could do the same program for the same radio station in two languages. So, yeah, those kind of things now have all gone. To be famous these days, well, all you need is a YouTube account and a good method of making it famous using SEO, search engine optimization. So, yeah, it's very different, isn't it, these days? But yeah, in the old days, you had to work hard if you were creative, because creativity could make money, but only if you found the right job to use your skill. These days, creativity isn't really seen as anything useful. So, yeah, it's a very different world. So there we are, World Piano Day, and to strike a chord. Over the Easter weekend, I'm going to be doing some podcasts very specifically about speaking better, just as I did shortly after Christmas time. And as part of that, motivation will be in there as well. So you can look forward to that. Have a nice day. See you all. Bye.